Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I am Luke Owen. As you may have guessed from the title of this video, we're once again going to be covering the news of Saudi Arabian journalist Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance and reported murder, and how that might affect WWE's relationship with the country and Crown Jewel. In case you didn't see Friday's video on the subject, this is your reminder to be friendly in the comments. We're not taking away your freedom of speech or anything like that, just remember this is a serious real-life subject. In the words of Progress Wrestling, don't be a dick. As noted last week, when pressure started to mount on WWE for running a show in a country whose government is currently being accused of plotting to kill Jamal Khashoggi, the company released a simple statement that said, "We're currently monitoring the situation." Khashoggi has been missing since October 2nd, 2018, last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. Turkey officials have since made claims that Khashoggi was killed inside the consulate, accusing Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of sending a team of 15 men specifically for the murder. Turkish officials have released a video of Khashoggi entering into the consulate on October 2nd, where the journalist was going to pick up documents so he could marry his fiancée, but say no video of him leaving exists, and have since claimed they also have audio and video evidence of Khashoggi being interrogated and murdered inside the consulate from his Apple Watch, which was synced up to his iPhone that he gave to his wife before entering the consulate. Khashoggi had been very vocally critical of the Saudi Arabian government in his work for the Washington Post, and reportedly told one friend that the Saudi government would never make good on its promises not to harm him. Over the weekend, many political figures have spoken out about the Khashoggi disappearance, and this has now stretched to Linda McMahon, who works in Donald Trump's presidential cabinet as small business administrator. Senator Chris Murphy told IJR.com, "I'd hope that WWE would be rethinking their relationship with the kingdom, especially with respect to events coming up in the next weeks like Crown Jewel." While Senator Bob Mendez noted, because Linda McMahon is part of the president's cabinet, it falls into the grey area where the administration really should give it some thought and maybe even prevail upon them not doing it. Another person tied to politics and this event is the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs, who will wrestle in the high-profile tag match with The Undertaker against Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Knox News reached out to Jacobs' office to ask about his position on the show, and were told that Kane will still be working Crown Jewel on November 2nd, with his spokesman Rob Link saying Mayor Jacobs won't speculate on Mr. Khashoggi's disappearance, however he and his family are in the mayor's thoughts and prayers. Former WWE Women's Champion Gail Kim spoke up on Twitter about the event, saying, "Do the right thing, WWE, you have enough money." And Brian Alvarez reported on Wrestling Observer Live, "I can't say every wrestler, but many wrestlers don't want to go. I've heard some in the office don't want to go, but I've heard there is one guy who is really determined to go, and that is Vince McMahon. Unless he changes his mind, they're going." Alvarez also noted on Wrestling Observer Live that there has been some talk about moving the two key matches from the show, the Universal Championship Triple Threat and the Tag Team match, to Survivor Series at the end of November. Alvarez said that he was told to watch Raw closely this week, because if they do not push these matches hard on the show, it is possible they will be moved to Survivor Series instead. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer has also reported that there have been backup plans that are being talked about internally if the show doesn't take place, with Raja adding that Manchester, England could be a replacement venue on November 4th if Crown Jewel doesn't go ahead, as WWE will be there the day after to tape Raw. PW Insider reported that WWE are still working on the travel plans for their talent for Crown Jewel and are moving full steam ahead with the show. Meltzer posted on Twitter that WWE says Saudi Arabia's show is still on as scheduled, and added on Wrestling Observer Radio, "Unless the State Department tells them they can't go or Donald Trump tells them they can't go, they're going." An interesting twist in this story came yesterday, when Crown Jewel suddenly disappeared from WWE.com's upcoming events calendar. And while it was still on their website under the show section, all references to Saudi Arabia had been removed. However, it's now been reported that this was in fact a mistake and the show was not meant to have been taken down. David Bixenspan of Deadline posted on Twitter, "A WWE spokesman is telling me that it would be an error. The event should be listed." Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live, "Nobody knows who removed it. I don't know if they were hacked or someone went in there on their own or what, but it wasn't supposed to disappear. But it did, and now it's back." Several big corporations, including Viacom, New York Times, and Washington Post, have all cut their ties with Saudi Arabia following the Khashoggi disappearance, most likely in fear that any association with them would receive negative mainstream mainstream attention, and WWE were on the wrong side of that mainstream attention last night, when HBO's Last Week with John Oliver showed clips aired during the Greatest Royal Rumble from earlier this year, focusing on how much they came across like propaganda. A video which has since been picked up by the likes of The Hollywood Reporter. But if there were any questions about how WWE feel about Crown Jewel or the possibility of cancelling it, they've announced 2 World Cup qualifying matches for Raw tonight, with Seth Rollins taking on Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose. What are 10 of the most awesome women's moments in WWE? Click the image on screen right now to read our WrestleTalk.com article. I've been Luke Owen, and that was wrestling.